Hi, and welcome to Worth Your Time, the show where I play games on Steam and give you my experience. I'm your host, Colin, and today we're talking about 1111 Memories Retold. Memories Retold is a story-driven adventure game in the setting of World War I. It was released in November 2018, published by Bandai Namco. The journey starts off by introducing us to the main characters, Canadian photographer Harry Lambert and German engineer Kurt Waldner. Kurt, the German engineer, heard on the radio that his son Max went missing, so he takes matters into his own hands and joins the German military to find his son. Meanwhile in Canada, the young and naive photographer Harry wants to obtain glory and impress his childhood crush with going to the front lines as a war photographer for the Allies. I really don't want to spoil anything, since this game's heavy focus on story would be ruined quite easily by too much information, so I'll just give you the main plot. It revolves around Harry and Kurt, showing two sides of the same war, following the personal endeavors they got themselves into, and the way it changes them. While most war games nowadays have a large focus on the action part of the war, Memories Retold really take a different route, much more similar to a game like Valiant Hearts, where the major focus of the game and the story lies on personal struggle, character development, and the more emotional side of war and the people that are in it. As a platform for storytelling, this game really works. It gets you invested into the characters and their personal struggles in the war. It's not just the story, but the whole package of the dreamlike, very charming visual style that conveys a more calm and soft atmosphere. The orchestral music that really reflects the characters and fits to their stories, and the development of their moral. It all comes together and welcomes you into this mellow world of melancholy and bittersweet moments in a time of constant insecurity. Now, on the other hand, I gotta say, I don't think as a game it's amazing. While it tells a beautiful story with everything I mentioned before, the gameplay part of it feels a little left out to me. The gameplay itself is mostly just walking from a cutscene or dialogue to a prop where you have to press E and then continue to the next dialogue or cutscene. Of course, there is some variation, like the puzzles you gotta do with Kurt, the German engineer, the listening minigames, the occasional game of cards, and the photography you can do with Harry. It's also a game with quite a bit of hidden lore scattered around the maps you navigate through, with multiple endings depending on the choices you make with the characters you play as. To me, the gameplay just felt rather shallow. The puzzles were not very challenging. They're nicely designed, fitting the characters and the story, just sadly not as compelling gameplay wise. In general, the gameplay just felt slow and kinda boring. It was just underwhelming when compared to the strong aspects of the game, like the story and the visuals. It would have been really cool to see the innovation from the visuals getting reflected in more creative gameplay. But I do get that most of the tasks you do in the game are tasks you actually did in war, and oftentimes they're not very glamorous or exciting. Most of the times, war is just a mix of boredom and fear, and it's getting reflected well by the other soldiers in the game, playing cards, making music just to embrace a little beauty that's left to them. Which brings me to my verdict. And keep in mind, I'm a guy that doesn't play a lot of story-based games. I'm much more interested in figuring out how a game works. For me, games should be fun playing them, not just watching them. If I want to see a story unfold with lovable characters and an interesting plot, then I go on Netflix and watch a movie or a series. To me, this game feels more like an interactive movie than a game. And if you're like me, then you're probably much more interested in cool game mechanics and fun gameplay, at least more than a well-constructed story and lovely visuals. If that's true for you, and you enjoy gameplay more than story, then 1111 Memories Retold is probably not worth your time. But I do know a lot of people that are into these kind of games, like the Telltale games, the Life is Strange series, or even the Metal Gear series, which have a much more cinematic approach to their games. They build a world with a big focus on storytelling and immersing you into their realm. So for anyone that's into those kind of games, or enjoys completing a game 100% with every possible ending, then 1111 Memories Retold is definitely a good choice for you. You can get invested into the story. The characters are relatable. The visuals, together with the audio, is truly beautiful, making this game definitely worth your time, and possibly even the $30 price tag. So that wraps it up for today. If you enjoyed this video, a like and a subscribe would really mean a lot to me. It really helps. And if you want to come hang out with me, I stream every Tuesday and Thursday on Twitch. So come by and say hello.